Whether you are a current Wager Talk TV subscriber, a fan of the extensive amount of free betting information we release, or a client of one of our incredible lineup of handicappers at Wager Talk or Sports Memo, we thank you. Thanksgiving is a holiday loaded with traditions, and we started one of our traditions years ago. Get a 7-day all sports, all access from any handicapper for just $69. That's under $10 per day and just $10 more than a 3-day all access. So whether you're traveling, have a house full of relatives, or just sitting back relaxing with an incredible week of sports, you can do so with the convenience of a 7-day pass. There is no coupon needed, and you can choose as many services as you'd like. This Thanksgiving special will be available through Cyber Monday, November 28th, all for just $69. Thank you again for being part of the Wager Talk and Sports Memo family.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome in here to Wager Talk TV. We hope you all had a very happy and fun and great food filling Thanksgiving. Again, for Carmine and I here in Canada, it was just a football day here, just a regular Thursday, as our Thanksgiving is in October. But we have a lot of hockey to go over today, as yesterday was a day off across the board in the National Hockey League. Today, we are breaking down 4 games as usual, starting off with the Flames, Capitals, Devils, Sabres, Blues, Lightning, and the last one with the Jets and Stars. 4 good ones, followed up at the end of the show with Carmine's 6 in 60 segment, which is going pretty well right now, if I do say so myself. Carm, it is a hockey show, but I do have to congratulate you on your $2 Tuesday winner that was this morning. And man, it's so nice to just wake up to money or to start your day off with a winner. So thank you for patting my bankroll going into this weekend, my friend.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone that that followed along. I'm glad it won, or I think you might be doing the show by yourself today. I would have called in sick, Andrew. But yeah, I know Senegal got there when that line first came out. I thought this was, I'm going to get all over this and get it out early. So it worked out extremely well, and we're picking up some steam now, which is great, and I just try and keep it going. Again, pretty happy about it. Thanks to everyone who followed along. Happy Thanksgiving again. Everyone's got leftover turkey sandwiches, which is great for today. Andrew, it's the best scenario possible for us. We celebrate Thanksgiving in October, and then I celebrate it in November again. My friends do as well too. We go watch football. We'll go somewhere where they have turkey, and we'll watch the games. 3 NFL games. My Bills Mafia continue to win, so I'm pretty happy about that. And we got a big weekend ahead. Today's a huge slate of cards. 1 game has been canceled. Colorado and Nashville that were scheduled to play today. That game has been canceled because of a water main break outside one of the entrances to Colorado's arena. So that game has been postponed and it will be played at a future date. So if you don't see that on the schedule, that is why. It has nothing to do with the weather. But yeah, a huge Friday slate with a bunch of afternoon games, and we're going to cover one of them on today's show.
Yeah, I mean, you think if you win the Stanley Cup, you made enough, ticket sales during the entire run to make sure you don't have any maintenance issues. But I guess that isn't really the case for Colorado. Things happen, of course, and I'm happy they canceled it early. That's what it's all about, really. Canceling the games early. Don't leave don't leave fans waiting and just cancel the game a few hours early. So happy that got done at least on time. Guys, I did just wrap up Prop It Up with Andy Lang. Matt Joseph was not on with us today for Thanksgiving with family, but we did cover some NHL stuff. So if you're interested in some prop stuff, some Prop It Up action, we talked some NFL, give out some NFL props, and we did talk about some NHL player props as well. So check that out. Same page, Wager Talk TV, Wager Talk app, iOS, Android, Roku, wherever you guys watch us, you can check that out as well. And we'll have Andy on soon for puck time, maybe later on in the playoffs like we did last year. He loves prop betting, and he pretty much does it in every single sport. So you can definitely find him betting some hockey props as well. Let's jump into the first game here, Carmine. We'll look at Calgary and Washington. We have Calgary short faves minus 120, 125-ish. Washington plus 105. Total at 6, shaded towards the under in this one. Before I jump into this game, I guess I want to start with an open-ended question to you, and you can kind of go off about the game. Is there any angle that you look for after Thanksgiving? I know it's only really one day off, home teams, road teams, certain situations, or is it just a blanket, it's just another day? Because, some people might say that it might be better even for the road teams because you almost get more focused when you go on the road. You get right back into work mode. Is that a factor to you at all? Or are you looking at this as just a regular matchup?
I want to look at it as a regular matchup. I think if we try and bring in too many variables, we start to worry about it. Like, you can hypothesize, you can say, the Calgary Flames were in their hotel. They probably got together. They had a team meal, but the Washington Capitals players were with their families celebrating Thanksgiving, and maybe they overindulged. But those are all hypotheticals. I would love to use that angle. You imagine putting out a play saying, I'm fading the Washington Capitals because these guys are going to be they had 2 or 3 helpings of turkey, and they're just not ready to skate tonight. But with that said, I still want to I'm going to take the Calgary Flames tonight, Andrew, in this spot, and it's mainly because I think the Caps are starting. Sorry, I think Calgary's starting to play a little bit better. Their season's been an up. Excuse me. Their season has been an up and down one. But it's really because of Markstrom. Markstrom hasn't had the best of seasons to start. But again, that was the first quarter of the season. We're getting to the second quarter of the season. He is starting to play better. And as Markstrom goes, the Calgary Flames go. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts. So he's starting to pull it back together. That goals against average is coming down. The save percentage is going up. And you have you have a Washington team that, they got the win against Philadelphia. They struggled in that game to get the win against Philadelphia, but they're starting to get some players back. They did get TJ Oshie back into the lineup. Orlov, who's part of their power play, is not back yet. I'm not sure if he'll be in the lineup tonight. He has been on the ice for morning skates, and he's part of that power play as well, too. That power play sits at 25th. I think I talked about it on Wednesday's show. So the Caps need that power play. They need everybody within that power play unit as well, too, because it's a big part of obviously their specialty teams, and one at the beginning of the season that was really helping them win games. So with that said, I'm going to lay the little bit of money here on Calgary and take the Flames here. The Caps are coming around. They're getting some bodies back, but until they get them all back, I just don't want to take them yet, even though they are at home. So I'm going to take Calgary here.
I'm looking at the Calgary Flames for a lot of the same reasons that you are, Carm. I like this price, especially. And, the thing is, it was the Philadelphia Flyers, and that is who the Capitals defeated. They did have kind of a little comeback in a difficult game, but I always say it doesn't really matter who you beat when you're in a slump. It's just about getting over that hump, and they did it. But in that example, I will say that, look, if it was that hard for them to beat the Flyers, a team that Calgary just took care of pretty easily, I think Calgary's about to go on a run. I think we haven't even seen close to the best out of the Calgary Flames quite yet. They are a very deep team that hasn't really shown us that yet this season. And I feel like this is an opportunity for them to go in here and just, I think throughout the game, this game might start close. It might be 1-1 after 1, but throughout the game, throughout a full 60, we'll just see how much better of an overall squad the Flames are than the Capitals, and I think they're good. They're going to go on a run here in the future. And the Capitals are going to be a team that I might look for in spots like this, as short dogs throughout the season. This one isn't one of them because the Flames, to me, are currently a bet on. But we talk about, you talked about guys getting back from injury. And the thing is, it's not always a spot where you instantly want to bet on them either, right? Okay, this guy is back. We're ready to go. You need to see them settle back in the lineup. Everybody's not going to be like a Charlie McAvoy where you have, 5 points in their first 5 games back in a team's lineup. It's not always that easy, especially when your team is struggling like the Capitals were. If you play on an elite team and you jump back in the lineup, it's a lot easier to just, jump back in and start scoring points and start playing well. If you're playing on a team that's not really doing it that well, it's tough to just jump back in the lineup. So as far as this Calgary Flames team go, they're coming off a kind of a tough loss, but it's against a really good Pittsburgh team. Shout out to Brian Leonard. Brian had a 5% on Pittsburgh there in that one. He's had a very good read on his 5% plays. So he cashed that ticket, but I think the Flames bounce back. And to be honest with you, Carm, I'm almost kind of happy that they're off a loss. It's kind of funny how I'm like that sometimes, but I want to ride with a hot team and a team playing well, but sometimes you almost just need that slap on the wrist back to reality here. Wake up a little bit. That way they take this game very seriously. They're off a loss here, and they'll try and move forward into this one. So I'm with Carm. I like the Flames. And again, as you see in the bottom of that graphic there, this is an early game today at 2:05 Eastern time. Puck drops, a little afternoon action for you guys. Carm and I on the same page with this one, taking the Flames. Over to you, Carm, with the Devils and Sabres. The Devils, man, how funny is this team? They finally snap their streak, their winning streak, and all 3 goals they scored, or at least they thought they scored, were disallowed. They're minus 165 tonight on the highway, Buffalo plus 140. And I mean, New Jersey, the fans started throwing things on the ice. It's probably a good thing they're on the road here. They got to clean up that ice a little bit here, Carm. But how do you look at this matchup? Your Sabres taking on the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, while you went through that intro there, they had another goal disallowed. I was watching that game. I think one of those goals, the one where he kicked it across kicked it from one side of the goal crease across to the other. It deflected off of either the goalie's pad or one of the Leafs sticks and went into the net, but his kicking motion was across the path and not to the net. So it wasn't a distinct kicking motion to put it into the net. I think he was trying to kick it to pass it to the guy, his player at the other side of the goal crease who was open. So with that said, it is what it is. The Leafs get the win, and that 13-game streak ends for the Devils. This isn't a handicapping tool. I'm going to tell you this right now, but I've talked about it for the last month or so. Teams off of or teams with a big losing streak that win a game, I like to come back and play them the next time out. The Sabres lose 8 in a row, go to Montreal, get a 7-2 win in Montreal, come back home the very next night on a back-to-back in a spot that should favor St. Louis. And St. Louis was on a 7-game winning streak at the time, and the Sabres get a win there, 6-2. They doubled up on that win. It's getting that monkey off your back. And now you've got it's not going to be a popular opinion, but you've got the New Jersey Devils, 13 games in a row. They win. They lose 1 to the Leafs, and now they hit the road and play the Sabres. I really want to take the Sabres in this spot at plus 140. I think the better bet here, Andrew, is the over. I think we're going to see some goals in this game. I think while the Devils don't allow a lot of shots on goal, and I talked about it, 25 shots on goal on average, and the Leafs only had 20 in that game, in that 2-1. So they kept the Leafs at bay. They just couldn't score. I think now that the win streak is over, they're going to play a little loose. I think we're going to see a little bit of punt hockey tonight. We're going to see some goals. The total at 6.5. It's pretty high for a New Jersey game where this team plays very well defensively and especially very well 5-on-5. But I think off of that loss and the win streak now being over, that we see a little more wide open game. And you got to give it to the Sabres. They lost 8 in a row, and they've scored 13 goals in the last 2 games, 7 against Montreal and 6 against the St. Louis team that was playing extremely well defensively. I'm looking for goals tonight in this one.
Carm, it's either going to be a really, really good night or day for both of us, or a rough one. We're on the same page, brother. I'm going to go ahead and just send it with the money line for the New Jersey Devils. For the Buffalo Sabres. This, to me, is not only an opportunity where you see a team that wasn't playing well and then they snap their losing streak. It's also a team that, like you mentioned, was playing really well, and then their winning streak gets snapped. It's literally a tale of 2 tapes here. It's 2 different scenarios, and I like the fact that Buffalo is at home in this scenario. So, no, I'm not taking the fact that they ate turkey and spent time with family. That doesn't matter to me in this one. Look, Buffalo's a good team. They've got lots of talent, and they move the puck up the ice very well. They have a pretty good D-core that moves up. They match up well against the Devils. This is a team that they can skate with. They're fast. And I think that what you said about the pond hockey, look, I'm sure the Devils want to get back on track right away. But as we found out this year especially, the NHL is a streaky league, and these players, they don't mean to do it mentally, but after a big win streak, it's going to be a big exhale. We're on a huge streak. We have a little bit of wiggle room now versus the Buffalo Sabres. They don't have much wiggle room. They're at the bottom of the division there with the Ottawa Senators, and they're neck and neck with the Montreal Canadiens, who you said they would finish ahead of this year. I think you might have said that, Carmine. I'll put the words in your mouth. But I think the Sabres will go ahead and get it done today. And at the plus 140, I like that one quite a bit. But I don't want to put the words in your mouth, Carmine. But you did say the Buffalo Sabres were better than the Habs. So maybe we'll get a little side wager going or something.
Yeah, I believe they're going to finish. I believe they're going to finish ahead of Montreal this season. I think the Sabres are going to lose, are going to win a lot more games than the Habs will. But listen, if I didn't look at the standings, if I didn't look at if I looked at the standings, I didn't look at, let's say, the past 10 or 15 games for these teams, I would just say New Jersey is a better team, which they are. I'm just going to take New Jersey. But you can't bet off of the standings. If you bet off of standings all the time, you're gonna lose some money, and you're going to lose some opportunities to sometimes make some money. It's a personal preference for me. When a team loses a game off of a big win streak, I like to go against them. And this is one of the reasons why, I'll likely go against St. Louis as well, too, in the game that we're talking about coming up. But the Sabres won in Montreal, break that streak, come home. And again, like I said, second of a back-to-back against a Blues team on a big streak, and they come up and they just they annihilate the Blues, for lack of a better word. The Blues were never in that game. So it does happen. It's not a handicapping tool. It's just a preference for me that teams that have lost not 3, 4, or 5 games. We're talking 7 or 8 games in a row that win a game. I like to come back with them. And the same way as a team that has won a bunch of games, they lose one, I like to fade them again in the next game. And we've seen that happen over the last few weeks. We've seen that happen numerous times. So I'm just going to stick with that routine. And I'm not asking anyone to follow me on it. I'm just telling you my thoughts on it. That's it.
And you know what, Carm? This one here is a client play for me, and I will bring it up because all of our loyal people that watch this show, anyone watching right now, will see this. If not, you'll be missing it. For the exact reasons that you just mentioned there and I talked about, is why I like Carolina to win in one of the early games as well against the Boston Bruins. Of course, with the Bruins being on their red hot streak and then they get stopped. I think the price is really, really good here on the Carolina Hurricanes. I know it's on the road. I know they're a much better team at home, but this is a really good number against a Bruins team that was on an unbelievable run overall to start off their year. I think they had just 2 or 3 losses going into their previous game. I like that dog in that position as well, after getting their streak snapped. So I think that if you fade both the Devils and the Bruins today, after both their streaks were snapped, you're getting plus money on both their opponents. I think at worst you go 1-1. So and
it's not bad.
I like the spots. It's not just an auto play for me, but it's the same reason what you're saying there about the teams that are off those consecutive wins. I like the teams, to fade them after they kind of have that big cushion now in the standings. So we'll try and cash those tickets. And of course, we do have some early games. That game I just mentioned goes off at 2:00 Eastern time. Third game we'll talk about here, the Blues and Lightning. St. Louis Blues, another team that you called, Carm, that would just start to go off. And they certainly did. They had a really, really good run. They've been playing some really good hockey. And, a guy I picked on actually on our show, Ryan O'Reilly, well, he's been a really big reason why this team has played really well recently. They're plus 155 today in Tampa. The Lightning are minus 185. Total is at 6 here, shaded towards the over. And Carmine, I'll go to you first here in this one. It should be a tight matchup. I want to ask you, are you eager this year to bet on the Lightning as big of faves like this as they are? Is this something that you're looking to do? I mean, I like the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I'm not sure in this price range is where I want them. Take a look at their last couple wins. They're minus 130, 120, 130. And those are kind of the ones I want to be betting on the Lightning. As a 185 favorite, I'm not so sure I want to be running to the window with.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to go to the window with them. You can look at it a lot of different ways. The Blues lost. They're a streaky team. They lost 8 in a row, and then they lost 7 in a row. You can look at it, of those 7 in a row, legitimately the only teams that they faced that were playoff teams were the Vegas Golden Knights and Colorado Avalanche. They beat the Sharks, they beat the Blackhawks, they beat the Anaheim Ducks a couple times. They beat the Washington Capitals, who are depleted with injuries. So 5 of the 7. Again, you can only beat who's in front of you, but they 2 legitimate wins there, and 5 or 6 wins against teams that I just don't see making the playoffs this season. This is the first of the Florida double for them, because they're going to play they play Tampa tonight, Florida on Saturday. And the price is high on Tampa Bay, and for a reason. If you look at Tampa Bay's last 15 games, they're playing extremely well. They've thrown in 1 dud in the last 15 games, and that was a loss in Washington, where they lost 5-1. Again, against the depleted Washington team, missing players. They just didn't show up that game. But they've been in every game, and they're obviously winning more than they're losing. So I don't mind laying some juice with Tampa. But when you get into like the 185 range, I don't. At that point, I will look at a different way of betting Tampa, which, as you guys know, I won't lay the juice, but I'll take them in regulation time. And they're the better team here. I think they get the win, and I think they do it in 60 minutes. And you can turn that 185 into likely a minus 105, minus 105, minus 110. If I look at the numbers on them, it's probably somewhere around there, Andrew. I'm just clicking on it just to get us the true price. It is 105, minus 105 regulation. So that's where I would go on this one.
Yeah, we don't like to pick on strength of schedule or weakness of schedule too much, but I will say that the Anaheim Ducks are a team the Blues faced, twice in a couple nights, and that really can help your record. That can help your confidence, can help your record, can help your goal scoring stats, can help your shots on goal stats. Hey, the Ducks are off a win, but they're a team that I like to pick on a little bit, and whether it's betting shot props against them, as you've taught me to do, or just betting against them on the puck line, they're a team that gives up quite a bit of goals. So the Blues did that. They did their job. Did their job against the Washington Capitals, against the Chicago Blackhawks. But of course, in order to break their losing streak, they did beat Colorado. They did beat Vegas. So I will tip my hat to them. Although this is a little bit of a different opponent they will be facing tonight than they really have been defeating all season, really. So I think the Lightning will be ready here at home. I think they will get the job done. But I'm actually going to go with the under in this game as my pick here on Puck Time. I think we will see a defensive battle. I think we'll see kind of a different St. Louis game than we have seen over the past few. I think we'll see a Tampa Bay team that's realized that they don't want to trade goals with teams all season long. The Tampa Bay team that we see in the playoffs every year, they can't obviously replicate that through 82 games in the regular season, but that's when they're at their best, when they're playing a low-scoring, defensive style of hockey. They have a great goaltender. They have a massive blue line crew with guys that stay back. They hit hard. They protect their own end. This game has underwritten all over it to me. 2 teams with scorers all over the ice, no doubt about it. But I think they're going to be very cautious and protect the puck here in this one. So I'm going to go under in this one. I do lean towards Tampa Bay, just like Carm does. But I'll stick with the total for my play here on Puck Time in this one with Tampa Bay and St. Louis. Last game up here before the 6 and 60 segment and the best bet segment. We'll go with the Winnipeg Jets and Dallas Stars. Winnipeg plus 140, Dallas minus 165. Total at 6 here in this one. Taking a look at this Winnipeg team. Look, Carm, I've talked about it a lot of times about certain teams that are just your kryptonite, whether it's NBA, NFL, college, or the NHL in past few years. Well, my kryptonite's definitely been the Winnipeg Jets. And sometimes you want to just take note of that, and then you got to start betting on them and trying to make some money on them. If you notice that you're really having a bad read on them, I've been fading them a lot. hasn't gone too well. Well, Dallas, here's the thing about them. A team that used to be an under team, they're now averaging 3.84 goals per game. They're up there at the top of the league in goals differential as far as, plus or minus. That's really, really good for a Dallas Stars team that used to be winning every game 3-1, 2-1. They're now putting up goals. Now, when I take a look at this Winnipeg team, a team that, like I mentioned, I haven't had the best read on, but a lot of their wins have been like 3-2, 2-1, those type of wins. I don't know if they can hang with Dallas here. I'm not sure if they can or not. If I was betting this game, I would look towards the under, honestly, even though Dallas has been scoring goals. I'm passing this game. I'm sorry. I don't have much in this one. I'm going to give it to you because I have not had a good read on Winnipeg games. What do you have for us?
All right. First, I will say, Andrew, before I get into this one, our regular Tuesday guest, Don Buster, has a 5% NHL play up at Sports Memo. So head over there, Sports Memo, pick up Buster's 5% play or his 3-day all access, and you'll get his NHL play tonight and all of his weekend stuff in football and basketball along with his hockey. So good luck to Buster out there. Now, Andrew, when I look at this game, I look at it one way and one way only. It's not a popular opinion, but I am taking the dog here. I'm taking the plus money on Winnipeg. They're 6-4 their last 10. Other than that last loss against Minnesota, they've been in every single game, and they've been competitive in every single game, and they're playing a lot better. Yes, they are that sort of that amoeba that you talk about, where you can't sort of figure them out, and we never know what team is going to show up. But they're playing a Dallas team that just isn't playing well defensively right now. They're scoring goals, but they're allowing goals. And case in point is this last win where they won 6-4 over Chicago. They were down 4-1. I turned the TV off at 4-1 with 10 minutes left in that game in the third period. They somehow scored 5 goals in the last 10 minutes of the game to win that game 6-5. But if they continue to play this style of hockey where they're not playing well defensively, they're not giving Ottinger the type of support that he needs, they're going to lose more games than they win. And against Winnipeg is a live dog here. You're getting plus 140 for a team that I think is playing better than Dallas is right now. And I'm going to take them. So give me the Winnipeg Jets at plus money here.
I love it. I mean, there's value there. That's a great price. And let's be honest, this year, this is where you want your money on the Winnipeg Jets. When you're getting this great plus money, they've cashed some tickets. They've played great as underdogs. And Dallas, they've been kind of a roller coaster. That's for sure this season. So Carm looking towards the dog in this spot. And again, as far as these shots on goal props goes, Jason Robertson is someone that's definitely kind of stepped things up as far as that goes. He flies under the radar. He's, I would still say, Carm, one of the most underrated players in the National Hockey League. Signed his contract going into this year. He's a big player for that team. He gets his shots. He's out there on the power play. He's someone that I have circled for props that I got to start looking at more for the Dallas Stars. But I'm really excited for today. I mean, there's so many games during the day. There's some evenings, some night games. It's a big day. And, Carm, we've talked about this together just personally, where there's some big slates like a couple days ago, and I've turned into more of a low volume guy for the most part, but it's frustrating, because there's certain days where you wish you played like 6 or 7 picks and last couple days ago, I was 2-0 to start the slate with the early games, end up 2-2. And I've never been so mad about splitting even, going 2-2 because you leave certain plays off the board. So today I'm excited. I'm firing on all cylinders. There's several plays that I like, and it's a pretty fun board. And it's nice because Fridays, usually we don't really get much for Friday's puck time. That's for sure.
No, I get it. The last card on Wednesday, I went 2-2, and I thought I had gone when I shut that Dallas game off because it was the second leg of a 2-team parlay. I thought I was 0-4 that night in NHL, and I'm like, what? And then I was checking the scores, and I see Dallas is now 4-4 in the third period. I'm like, what happened? Turned the game back on, and by the time I turned it on, it was 5-4 Dallas, and they win the game. And then I had 2 shot props. Cole Caulfield, that was the show best, my show best bet. Didn't even register a shot on goal in the game. I couldn't believe it. And I had a client play of Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots, and the final shots on goal showed 3 on the site, and then the NHL website changed it to 6. And I'm like, where did they find 3 more shots on goal? And the official shots on goal turned out to be 6. So I was pretty happy. I ended up with a 2-2 day, which is a hell of a lot better than an 0-4 day, especially because I've been running really well in NHL. It's a nice little 26-7 run going on right now.
That's a huge run. Guys, I wanted to mention, Carm, you don't know about this yet, so it's kind of nice that this is a surprise for you. We have a 1-month special going on right now for just Carm and I here. You can use the promo code PASS30. This is a 30-day all-access pass for Carmine and myself. You can get it at both of our pages. You go to our 1 month, type in PASS30. You'll get 1 month of all of our plays, all sports, $199. We're both involved in so many sports. Of course, the World Cup's going on right now for Carmine. He's heavily involved in that. I've got college hoops. I've got NFL props, NFL sides, of course, NHL action. Same thing for Carm. So PASS30, guys. Use PASS30, $199. All sports action for 1 month, 30 days for Carm and myself. Carm, before we get into best bets, let's tee it up here. 6 in 60, man. Over to you.
Okay, so before we start that clock, because of yesterday being a holiday and today having 14 or whatever games it is, the site where I can usually pick up the overnight lines for Saturday doesn't have any numbers out. So I'm going to let you know there are no numbers here other than a total, which I know what the total will be in the game. But the other ones, you'll be able to find the lines out when they come out. So with that said, Mr. Producer, hit the clock. All right, Rangers and Edmonton. First home game for the Rangers off a 4-game Western road trip. I'm going to take the Oilers to spring the upset here at plus money. Florida and St. Louis. The Blues streak was broken by the Sabres. This will be the second half of the Florida double. I'm going to take the Florida Panthers in regulation time. Philly and the Islanders. Philly's injury list just keeps getting longer, like their losing streak. Isle 7-3 at home, 8-3 after this one. Islanders in regulation time. Nashville and Columbus. Columbus on the second of a back-to-back with a depleted lineup and only 1 road win this season. This one's a blowout. Nashville -1.5. Colorado and Dallas. Dallas also on a second of a back-to-back. Avs rarely lose 3 in a row at home. Let's take Avalanche in regulation time. And Vegas and Vancouver. Canucks road overs. 9 of the last 10 have gone over the total. Here's another one. Over 6.5. That's your 6 in 60, guys.
With time to spare. Great work there, Carm, and a lot of great picks there. And you got me fired up for Saturday's slate. And today's hasn't even started yet. Man, I'm pumped up for the NHL here. Let's get into some best bets before anything else. And once again, guys, use that code PASS30. 30 days all access for $199. There's no better time, really, to be a sports fan or a sports bettor. There's just so much going on right now. That's PASS30, $199. And for me, I've got a 5% NFL play for Sunday. I have 3 NFL plays for Sunday. Prop plays included as well for me. College basketball tomorrow. And, of course, NHL. I've got that going all weekend long. For my best bet, it might surprise you. And I know I might get some funny looks from Carm because I'm trying to be dangerous like Prez and catch a falling knife, which is not fun to do. And it can be kind of dangerous. I'm going to go with the Ottawa Senators on the money line here to get the job done. Look, this Ottawa Senators team, they've been struggling. But what better team to bet on or bet against, I guess, when you're struggling than to fade the Anaheim Ducks? The Ducks are off a win. They got a good performance out of Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras, but they're not a deep team. And they're a team that allows a lot of shots. If you give up lots of shots and lots of chances, the Ottawa Senators will make you pay. A lot of the time I want to fade a team at the end of a road trip or look towards overs, but this is an Ottawa Senators team that has time to be rested now, has time to reflect and bounce back in a big way with a reasonable price here against the Anaheim Ducks. Two teams near the bottom of their own conferences. Give me the Sens here on the money line. I'm catching the falling knife here, Carmen, this one. Senators are my play, my show best bet here. Over to you, pal, for your best bet.
You are definitely catching the falling knife. Let's do it, man. Catch that knife. Okay, so 3 plays up in NHL for tonight. I may add a shot prop or 2 on there, so you can pick those up at Wager Talk, or grab that pass or the 3-day all access. It's going to be a busy weekend for me as well, too, with a lot of World Cup plays are already loaded on the Wager Talk site. You know, we talked about the Sabres game, and the Sabres are scoring some goals. They got 7 in Montreal. They got 6 at home the next night against St. Louis. That 8-game losing streak was because they couldn't score any goals. I think this is a much more open game with the New Jersey team that's probably looking to bounce back. I'm looking for goals in the first period in this one. Instead of taking the -1.5, -170, I'm going to take the over 2 and take the plus money, plus 107 on this one, and look for some goals tonight and some goals right out of the gate in this one. So over 2 plus 107 is your show best bet, guys.
Awesome stuff there. Devils, Sabres, first period, over 2, always getting a better price when you choose the 2 over the 1.5 there. And once again, I have the Ottawa Senators on the money line. Guys, Wager Talk today is coming up right after this show at 12 o'clock Eastern time, a jam-packed day ready here at Wager Talk TV. We thank all of you for joining us on Puck Time. Wish you best of luck and enjoy the early games in the NHL. Other than that, have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Whether you are a current Wager Talk TV subscriber, a fan of the extensive amount of free betting information we release, or a client of one of our incredible lineup of handicappers at Wager Talk or Sports Memo, we thank you. Thanksgiving is a holiday loaded with traditions, and we started one of our traditions years ago. Get a 7-day all sports all access from any handicapper for just $69. That's under $10 per day and just $10 more than a 3-day all access. So whether you're traveling, have a house full of relatives, or just sitting back relaxing with an incredible week of sports, you can do so with the convenience of a 7-day pass. There is no coupon needed, and you can choose as many services as you'd like. This Thanksgiving special will be available through Cyber Monday, November 28th, all for just $69. Thank you again for being part of the Wager Talk and Sports Memo family.